Hey friends, this is Tara with Wellness with Tara. I hope you are doing well today. I wanted to spend a little bit of time telling you this morning how I became interested in health and wellness in the first place, because if you would have even asked me or told me about 5 years ago that I would end up becoming a health coach, I probably would have laughed, because that was definitely not on my radar. So a little bit about my story. When I was little, I was the kid that always had the ear infections or always had the strep throat or always had pretty much whatever came through the family. As I got a little bit older and went through puberty, I ended up having horrible, horrible headaches that eventually turned into migraines. I also had a very strong chemical sensitivity toward any type of scented anything. I finally realized years later that I couldn't wear perfume, I couldn't wear anything scented, that things like Glade plug-ins or air fresheners bothered me, and those things would lead to migraines. I had terrible, terrible PMS and crampings, which would sometimes lead me to have to miss school or miss work as I got older. It was that intense. And I consider myself someone who handles pain pretty well overall, so I can assure you it was bad. And then fast forward to college, life was pretty stressful, but because I made it so in a lot of ways, I've always been a little bit of an overachiever and got myself involved in way too many things at once quite often. I did that through high school, I did it again in college, and then I think I learned my lesson. But anyway, doing so led me to have high stress. It gave the headaches and migraines continued. I added on top of that some stomach issues there. I started developing ovarian cysts around my cycle as well, and was just not real super comfortable. I moved to college. I gained the freshman 20 in the first 3 months of school. I got smart enough after I gained a bunch of weight that I decided I didn't want to do that, and I got in the gym. So that was a good start, and I started somewhat adjusting my diet, but not quite so much where it was really going to change things overall for my overall health. Fast forward again, got married, started having babies. In that process, things took a downhill pretty quickly. Soon after I started having my babies, I developed severe vertigo after my second child and spent a lot of money and a lot of time going to a great majority of doctors in town, several ENTs, neurologists, had an MRI, had a CAT scan done, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. At the end, they started to tell me they thought that I had an anxiety disorder, which I probably would have thrown that in on top of it because I was pretty anxious about the situation and nobody could find a cause for that. Long story short, an elimination diet helped me to figure out what foods, and those foods were actually healthy foods otherwise for the average person, were making my vertigos and my migraines spiral out of control. 2 weeks into this elimination diet, my vertigo and my migraines vanished. And that made me go, whoa, what else can food affect? Because these were healthy foods. And I know some of you are already asking, well, what foods was it, Tara? Well, I'll just tell you this, it's different for everybody. So that's for another video, another time. But that made me want to know more because within our family at that point in time, I had kids that were experiencing food sensitivities, that had eczema. My husband had rheumatoid arthritis. A couple of my kids were having severe bloody noses, psoriasis in their scalps, like all kinds of issues. And it made me realize that if I could impact my health with some dietary changes, and that was it, that there was more I had to learn. That sent me on a journey into functional medicine, and functional medicine has opened my eyes to what I would really almost call miracles of change in our family. If you know about my history and my story, our family went through a toxic mold experience that literally could have ruined our lives. Like it was pretty severe. Again, a topic for another post, another time, but a lot of the things that we were experiencing were kind of being pushed forward because of some of the stuff with toxic mold in a home that we were unaware of. But even while we were still living in that house, through functional medicine principles, we were able to remove most of the issues and the symptoms that we were having. And so that's how I knew that this stuff was the real deal. And then when we were able to get ourselves out of that home and find some healing afterwards, we were able to significantly reduce other symptoms and problems that we had. So anyway, that's just my story in a nutshell, and I know your story is different from my story. Some of you all are just thinking, Tara, I don't have a bunch of severe health issues, but I am just tired all the time. I cannot seem to wake up. It doesn't matter if I sleep or I don't sleep. It doesn't matter, what I eat or don't eat. And that's why I became a health coach, because I want to be able to walk women like you mamas like you through these types of situations and to make practical changes in your habits and your lifestyle that can actually impact your day to day, so that you're not walking around every day feeling like you just cannot survive the day without a cup of coffee, feeling like you just can't pull your eyes open in the morning, or feeling so stressed and overwhelmed because you know and you've read or you've heard things that you should be doing, but it just doesn't seem like you can take those things and put them into real life. That's what I do. I help you do those things. I help you put these changes into your life in ways that are practical and manageable in the busy stage of life you're in right now, so that you can feel good on a day-to-day basis, or at least 1,000 times better than you do right now. And any improvement is definitely worth it. And then you go from there and take those steps forward and those steps forward, and baby steps build on baby steps, build on baby steps, which eventually leads to tons of change. So that's my story. That's how I got into this and what I'm doing. So please feel free to ask me further questions. Share this video if you think anyone might be interested in it. And just let me know, what about you? What is it that you're struggling with, that you're just yearning or itching for some help in? Because that's why I'm here. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing a little bit about my story, and would love to hear a little bit about yours. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.